Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday, the whatever it is, 27th of January. So let's get on and look at the markets. Firstly, though, look at the risk events. Let's just get the right bar there. Forex Factory, there we go. And we've got Friday today. Good. Okay, so not a great deal of data today. We've got the US core personal consumption expenditure though at 130. Now this has become a bigger number to watch out for. So it's what the Feds are using. It's their favourite inflation index at the moment. So I say not a lot, but what is coming out is very important. Side of that, pending home sales, that's much less down the scale there, and consumer sentiment. So just to watch out for that 130 news later. Okay, let's get on. Let's just check on my other system though, see if there's any speakers. Got Lagarde speaking at 10:30. That's it. So okay. So let's look at technicals, and well, Euro it's got back into, I mean, we saw it last week. It spent a lot of time into a sort of consolidating phase and got a bit one day out of it, and then it's gone really into this consolidation phase again. It's really well, obviously waiting for next Thursday and probably Wednesday as well before we get any real action on this, but markets are waiting for the data to come out. Okay, so choppy ranges. Is there any? Well, when it's like this, I just tend to steer clear of it. It's just it could go either way. Basically, it's still got the bias for me for the upside. If I was in a position trade, I would just be looking long on the euro. But for an intraday basis, it's just too messy. The pound is very similar. In fact, we've sort of gone from what started off a good week on a lot of these markets into quite choppy weeks. Let's just come down up the time frames even, and you can see the consolidation around the highs here, which again I think it might have a chance of pushing up more so because of a weaker dollar than a stronger pound. The pound I still see as one of the weaker currencies. Looking then at the 4-hourly, just really shows you more of that chop in detail, and there's its chop. It's already done its daily pivot, almost its S1. It becomes quite untradeable for me. But there again, I'm quite fussy. Talking about being untradeable, it's another one. It's looking great on a daily basis in terms of the end of day basis, pushing down there. But we this week it's summed up quite nicely. It started off quite well with some of these, but it's more the cross pairs I've been trading this week, or trying to trade. Didn't get into one yesterday, but choppy and a bit directionless. You sort of had this decent move up there into the end of into yesterday, but then it's pulled back since, and it's just backwards and forwards. Very difficult. Aussie dollar been a bit clearer in terms of its overall moves, and we've seen some decent moves on the news this week. But again, where we're starting to see now on a 4-hourly basis is consolidating. So consolidation staying there. Which way? Goodness, I would like to be looking for the long side on the Aussie, but got to be patient. Finally, the Canadian. And well, that in itself, it did manage yesterday to break down. But let's go back to the dailies here. We did actually see a bit of action here. My trend lines have gone off of here, but I had a nice looking trend line running across the lows here, which is just taken out there. Lower highs coming through here. Ugly old price action for this week. So this is Monday through, and I mean it's even with the news it came out the other day, didn't really move it. It started looking a bit better yesterday, but really not the best of markets to be trying to trade at the moment. Just as I say, looking choppy again. So I'm afraid that you're left to the cross pairs, the likes of the Aussie yen. even that didn't look great, but it did push up nicely yesterday. For one of our traders, pushed up and pushed up, or pushed on back to the highs, but even this has gone quite consolidated now. Best thing is for me, I probably won't be trading too much this morning, looking at what I can already see, unless the other cross pairs are looking better. So that's the currency markets. And let's have a look at gold. Similar picture coming in here with gold. You just look at the dailies side by side, bars almost chopping one way then the other way. It's clearer from this 4-hourly picture showing you the weekly pivots. It's pretty much contained between the weekly pivot and the R1. Most of the trading between that period, and when you look at it short term, it's got head and shoulders if you want to be pattern hunting, and well, that should be giving us a break to the downside surely. But seriously, I would, if it does break these lows, we could be on for a bigger wave to the downside. But I think these markets are just waiting. They're laying in wait. Okay, CSI 300 then, the equity markets. I can look at these because it should be open again now. I believe it opened yesterday. It did. 20th. It's today. Friday. Get the right date. There you are. 20th. Yep, that's fine. No, it's still not open. Someone, do you know? I'm sure someone said they were open yesterday. That's not open, but the Nikkei is, and that's not going anywhere. Another market that's consolidated. Nifty 50. Well, this is, and I mentioned it yesterday about it moving off. It's continued to sell off. It really is in a bear zone at the moment. I say bear zone, but certainly in a down zone. Very, very soft. It's broken those lows there, and well, looks like it's got further downside. S&Ps is just struggling their way up there. They're just continuing to push up, but they are on the upside and still pushing to the upside. Come down the time frames a little bit on that, and it's not been the cleanest of markets, but at least it's got sort of intraday, or I say intraday, it's got a trend during the week here. It's got opportunities to do something with more so. So maybe that's the market to be watching for later. We'll see. Looking at the Dow Jones, very similar-ish, a bit softer but similar. The Nasdaq's been continuing to push up and starting to look a bit brighter than it was a week or so ago. Anyway, there we go. Nearer to home than the DAX. Another one, just consolidating range. Look how tight this has been on the dailies here. You just see it on the weeklies. Very, very consolidated, and down to the dailies, it really is a sort of a whipsaw at the moment, and the sort of markets that you can easily lose some money in. So best avoided whilst they're like this. This is the FTSE. Quite ugly. If you're making money in these, you're doing well, because they're not really going. They've run out of direction. Talk about one direction, no direction. Well, they're going sideward. Anyway, there we go. Not a lot else to report on those. As it's a Friday, let's just have a quick look of the crypto lights. So let's come up the time frames for these. Bitcoin still hanging up there. Still holding up. The more it holds up, the better. I think this sort of, obviously the weaker dollar is benefiting the cryptocurrencies here. Litecoin, similar case, all pushing up there. Cardano again erring on the more bullish side of things. So yeah, it's certainly, well, Ethereum up by the prior highs, and it's again hanging around those areas. So really just consolidated, big picture, just looking like they could continue to the upside. We'll see what happens over the weekend when the volumes die down a little bit and the retail market is left to its own. On that basis, I wish you a great weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday. Bye for now.